Hey, good morning, everybody. Bob, Trade Genius, the 15th of September in the early morning hours here, Sunday. I want to show you something. By now, I'm sure everybody heard about the attack on two petroleum refining, processing, or transit facilities, and the announcement by the Saudis initially of shutting off 50% of their export capability. And then I'm thinking, okay, we don't really know what's going on here. So first thing I did said, let's check the stock market on the markets that are open on Sunday, which is in the Middle East, which is a work day in the Muslim and the Jewish world. And I'm expecting to see I saw the headlines of CNBC, Saudi market plunges. Expect crude to be up $10 on Monday. Like, okay. So I go check the Saudi market and it's down 0.92%. If this was a country under invasion, under their most critical export being destroyed, you would think the stock market would be down 50%. Not 0.92%. I said, okay, so let me just verify that. I'll go check the Israeli marketplace. And so I flip over to the Israeli site, and it's down 0.25%. I'm like, okay, so what do we really have going on here? Quick assessment. So the Saudis said they're going to be back online by Tuesday, which means whatever these drones hit, they were really, really good because they didn't hit anything critical. And if you know anything about these kind of infrastructure projects, they have multiple avenues to move oil out of storage or refined products out of storage. And so whatever fires they had, they got them out really quickly, which means they didn't really hit anything huge, because sometimes these fires could burn for days and days and days and probably being rerouted. And this was a big deal. Let's make some assumptions here. Let's not assume that the Saudis are the ones behind this for the moment. And let's assume it was a Shia-based attack. Okay, so where could it have come from? Well, it could have come from inside of Saudi Arabia, because people don't realize Saudi Arabia is officially a Sunni country, but the eastern parts of Saudi Arabia and Qatar are Shia, and they're suppressed in Saudi Arabia, and I think also Bahrain, and I think Bahrain has their people suppressed too. And so, hey, easy to smuggle this stuff in. A lot of corruption. You pump a couple drones in. These drones couldn't have flown long distances. There's no way a drone was coming across from Iran over the Persian Gulf into Saudi airspace without the Americans picking up on it, because it would be in our best interest to not get whacked by a drone, okay? And then in Yemen, they'd have to climb over those mountains. People don't realize that there's a mountain range that separates Saudi territory and Yemeni territory, and getting those drones over there are quite a feat as well. They've usually been firing missiles into these facilities in the past, so it had to be fairly local. And then you have to also think about the timing of this. Really, is it really in Iran's best interest to start a war with the Saudis and drag the Americans in and raise the price of oil that they may not be able to ship? It doesn't pass the sniff test for me. Plus, China is their biggest ally, and China's not going to accept higher oil prices because Iran wants to pick a war with Saudi Arabia. They rather give a strategic partnership. Who else has the best interest in raising oil prices? Doesn't appear to be the Americans, because within 6 hours of this announcement, the Energy Secretary announced that they would open up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to flood the markets to provide stability. And we can pump that oil in a nanosecond. So probably not us, Russians, yeah, maybe, you know. And then you have the Fed announcement this week, and you got a lot of oil speculators that are probably caught off sides here because they're trying to ramp price into the OPEC meeting, ramp price into the shoulder meeting. So it could be a minor actor in this. And then finally it could be the Saudis themselves, It was pretty clever drone strike that, hit some very specific things that can only affect 2 days of export. So now what's going to happen when the oil markets open, I'm not sure. There's a lot of people that want oil prices up, so there's probably going to be a big push. But there's also a lot of people that want oil prices stable too. So it could be a bit of a tug of war. But if oil prices do climb higher, it's going to be in our best interest to short it. We're going into the shoulder season. Summer driving's behind us. Economic activity is faltering around the world. So, it could be a last hurrah. And I wouldn't put it past anybody anymore to do these kind of events to profit from it. But it's going to be short-lived. So that's my view on it. Apparently it's going to have no issues at all for the stock markets. If it can't affect the most local markets, certainly not going to have an impact on our market. And because the United States is the largest producer of oil now in the world, and we're also the largest consumer, it's really a push for us. So, and apparently Trump doesn't want higher oil prices, where he wouldn't have said what he said, immediately saying it. And the Saudis quickly backtracked too. There's a lot of oil out there, guys. So I'm sure it'll find its way to the market really fast if somebody tries to jam the price. There'll be a lot of people locking. So anyway, thought I'd share that with you. Later today, I'll come back to regular programming. I want to show you my watch lists, and we'll see what happens with all that. Oh, and one other thing too. So what's the other safe haven? Here's Bitcoin Daily, right? Bitcoin Daily is still in this ever tightening flag here, and I just do the fib lines up from the December lows to the lows here. I guess we just get up a little bit, and we just been bouncing around at a 30% retrace, 38% retrace. So this consolidation's bullish, but it didn't react to the Saudi news either. And so nobody's clamoring for safe havens here. Having said that, if Saudis and Iran do get into some sort of shooting war, then all bets are off. Short the market, buy oil, buy gold, buy Bitcoin. And then you'll see the Federal Reserve dropping interest rates down to zero in a heartbeat. So maybe that's where we end up. We'll watch it. Have a good one. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.